anxious and started destroying some of the new demo work, because you probably remember this room because we have this part done. I just got to finish up getting sanded and primed, but before I went too far, I want to go ahead and get all this, finish tearing this down. I already took the paneling and everything off, and that's what you can see piled up across here, the paneling. On the inside, they had this cedar plywood, so that's all going to come down, and they had it all insulated and plastic wrap for some reason. So we're just going to take all this down, take all this stuff off, and then possibly, see if I have to re-insulate these walls. So that's where we're at right now, and I'll be back. I'm going to start taking some of this framing down. And this is not load bearing in any way, shape, or form, because you can see this is the load bearing beam right here. It goes through the house, and there's nothing underneath of this other than this 1/4-inch plywood. All right, making some progress. See, I got more of this corner down, and the door supports out. It is a slow process because each board as I go gets de-nailed, and you can see I got a bucket full of nails, and I've been taking each one in here and taking the nails out, and then we go back and get the next one. So that way these can be reused for another project. So I'm cheap, don't want to waste it. All right, you can see I made a lot more progress now. Got this all exposed and all gone. If you're ever running wiring, please do it correct. This is not the way to do it. You don't notch your 2x4s on the bottom. Notching like that, you just weakened it quite a bit. So do the correct thing, drill the hole like it's supposed to be. The next step I gotta do is actually turn off power to this, which I can see that actually runs up here to this mess. So we're gonna actually, once I turn that off, figure out a lot more of what all these are going to and see what needs to be there and what doesn't. Because there seems to be an awful lot of wires coming out of that one box. But you can see my method of keeping everything has resulted in, I have a pile now of 2x4s and the insulation from it. So I can reuse them. That insulation will probably end up going up into the floors. And then these 2x4s will be for another project. But we got to finish this one up first. Okay, didn't show it, but we went ahead and secured power to here, and I got it power disconnected. So now I can go ahead and remove this light, which you can see they didn't even have the whole thing fastened in here right. So I'm hoping to find this nut inside the box. Well, I got my answer on this, because there is nothing on it. There was nothing inside of it. They would have just had a light hooked up to it. So if you're going to do something, do it right. Don't half-ass it. Another cheap thing if you're looking for it. You can see I have an old-fashioned spring clamp here. I mean, those still work great, but put an LED bulb in it, an LED spotlight bulb, and now you have a great work lamp to clip on and shine wherever you want to. Making some progress, getting the stuff off. You can see this is off. This is very unique construction, how they use these 1.5s here. But the other thing I noticed too, which is going to be very interesting to find out, what is that? Is that powered or what? So, gotta love working on old houses. As you can see, there's a receptacle there that's nothing in it. There's that one with the connections. There's that one which has an actual receptacle in it. And then there was one over here that I removed, which was empty also. So, won't know what I find, but this is going to come off too, now that I've got to figure out what that is. Making more progress. See, I got a bunch of it down now. The only thing I got to be careful of is there is water lines and some power lines run through here, so I got to be careful getting this piece off. But it's coming along nice. Almost done with the demo. Just got to finish getting this one down, which is going to be the hardest one. The piece up above there, and then this siding. I think after I get this done, I'm going to call it quits for the day. All opened up now, and I can see that they ran cabling after they had the insulation done, because you can see where it was all pulled down and all pushed away from the wall. Thankfully, this is not an exterior wall, and you can see this one This is actually mouse damage. You can see where it was basically going through the insulation and it's all gone at the bottom. And here's another spot you can see, that's probably where the mice were getting in, was somewhere where they had shoved a bunch of wires down in. And then look at this part, where they were running all their cable down through. They literally pushed all their insulation away. So like I said, thankfully this is not an exterior wall, but we're gonna have to re-insulate all this and get this all cleaned up. So, but that's another day. I think I'm done for today. And you can see it's all opened up now. Now I'll be able to keep coming down this wall after we get it done. Okay, I was just sweeping up and I happened to see something sticking out. So I looked down here. This is not what you want to do if you want to dead end a cable. You don't just tuck them in the wall bare. Either remove it or cap them. All right, that's it for this one. Like I said, I'm done for the day. Just gonna finish sweeping up. All right, got all the electrical issues fixed here. You can see I got this here. This one is hot, but I have these sitting here capped off, so when I do the drywall, it makes it easier. Then I can just cut it out and put the receptacle in. But they had it tapped off here, and then running over to another one, and then running over to another one that was just unconnected. And then they just had, taped inside there, so it's all gone. Now if we're going to do it again, we're going to do it correctly and bring it from one of the junction boxes up in the ceiling, and then we'll bring it down. So now we just got to finish and fixing up the insulation, because you can see where all this was here. I started doing some here, and then I'm going to keep going. I'll be back. Just found this one to point this out. This was actually kind of funny, I think. It's actually an old remedy that you fill in holes with basically steel wool. That way it keeps mice from chewing through them. So I found some of that down here. So obviously they had problems with mice because this whole thing was all chewed up. So they were trying to basically block them. Kind of funny. All right, you can see I got it all done now. I do have there's a coax cable that runs down here to a box on the other side there that's accessed from the other side of the wall, but that doesn't need to be seen. But you can see I got the power here cleaned up and actually fastened like it should be, not just loose hanging. So now everything is good on that. Now we're going to go ahead and get cleaned up, and then I'm going to start working on this floor. All right, all the flooring that we have is done. The rest of this is not enough for even another row across, so that's where we're going to stop. Because what we're going to end up doing is actually underneath where this beam is right here, I'm going to be putting another wall here. So that way we can have a big closet, and it's going to be straight across right here. So I'm going to be about right there coming across. Been on a roll and forgot to film. But you can see I got 2 sheets of drywall up here. I do have the flooring all the way back as far as it can go. Everything's cleaned up in here. I still got to rip out those and see how the insulation is underneath those. But I only have 1 more sheet of drywall even left, so I'm pretty much at a stopping point. So I'm going to see if I can get that one in here. All right, I went ahead and took the paneling down here, so I wanted to make sure I had a nailing edge for when I go to put the drywall up on there, and I do. They're fastened on there, but as you can see, there's no barrier. So thankfully I still have some plastic. I'm going to have to get some plastic, get that on there first, and then I can put the insulation back up. All right, all that paneling is down now. So now I can see what I'm working with. This side is actually pretty good. I checked the insulation from the other side. This side, you can see I got to get the plastic up. Got all the plastic up, and you can see it looks like it's just all covered, but there's actually ridges here where you can see that's the little furring strip there. So I gotta get this insulation here put back in there before we go ahead and put drywall over top of this. But now I got a vapor barrier between the house and the concrete block. All right, got all the insulation back in place. You can see the duct tape is there just to hold them so they don't fall off, so that way I don't have to keep putting them up. But once the insulation or the drywall goes against this and gets screwed fast, these aren't going to go anywhere. And that way I got insulation behind it. These, like I said, the tape's just to hold it. But I don't have any drywall right now, so I'm going to have to hold off on that. Looked around, I found 1 piece of drywall I had left. It wasn't a full piece, but I got it to fit up here. So now I just got to finish up the rest. But that's where I think I'll end this video, because you don't need to see me put more drywall.